Hi, everyone! In addition to helping you study your N-400 form, we will go over all 37 yes-no questions and the full vocabulary definitions with simple, easy-to-understand definitions. The officer will definitely ask you the yes-no questions during your interview, so it's very important that you study and fully understand the meaning of each question. They may even ask you to explain the meaning of some of the words in the vocabulary list. We've made sure the vocabulary definitions are short and straightforward, so I believe you won't have any trouble memorizing them. Let's dive right in.
Have you ever claimed to be a U.S. citizen in writing or any other way?
No.
What does claim mean?
To say something is true.
Do you know the meaning of claim to be a U.S. citizen?
To state you are a U.S. citizen.
Have you ever registered to vote or voted in any federal, state, or local election in the United States?
No.
What does register mean?
To sign up.
Can you explain the meaning of vote?
To elect new leaders.
Do you currently owe any overdue federal, state, or local taxes in the United States?
No.
What is the meaning of owe taxes?
To owe the government money.
Can you explain what it means to owe?
To have a debt.
Can you explain the meaning of overdue?
Past a deadline.
Since you became a lawful permanent resident, have you called yourself a non-resident alien on a federal, state, or local tax return, or decided not to file a tax return because you considered yourself to be a non-resident?
No.
How would you define non-resident alien?
A person who has not passed the green card test.
Have you ever advocated, supported, and promoted any of the following, or been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any group anywhere in the world that advocated any of the following? Opposition to all organized government, world communism, the establishment in the United States of a totalitarian dictatorship, the overthrow by force or violence or other unconstitutional means of the government of the United States or all forms of law, the unlawful assaulting or killing of any officer or officers of the government of the United States or of any other organized government because of their official character, the unlawful damage, injury, or destruction of property or sabotage.
No.
What is the definition of advocate?
To support.
Can you explain what overthrow means?
To remove a government from power.
Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with any communist or totalitarian party anywhere in the world?
No.
How would you define the Communist Party?
Like China, North Korea.
What does a totalitarian party mean?
Government controls everything and people have no power.
Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services or labor, or any other assistance or support to a group that used a weapon or explosive with intent to harm another person or cause damage to property?
No.
Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services, or labor, or any other assistance or support to a group that engaged or participated in kidnapping, assassination, or hijacking or sabotage of an airplane, ship, vehicle, or other mode of transportation?
No.
Can you explain what it means to hijack?
To stop and steal a moving airplane.
How would you define kidnap?
To take someone away illegally.
How would you define sabotage?
To destroy something.
What does assassination refer to?
An action of killing someone.
Have you ever been a member of, involved in, or in any way associated with, or have you ever provided money, a thing of value, services or labor, or any other assistance or support to a group that threatened, attempted, conspired, prepared, planned, advocated for, or incited others to commit kidnapping, assassination, hijacking, sabotage, or use a weapon or explosive with intent to harm another person or cause damage to property?
No.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in torture?
No.
What is the meaning of incite?
To encourage.
Can you explain what torture is?
To hurt someone physically.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in genocide?
No.
What does genocide mean?
To kill a whole race.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in injuring or trying to injure any person intentionally and severely?
No.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in killing or trying to kill any person?
No.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in any kind of sexual contact or activity with any person who did not consent or was unable to consent, or was being forced or threatened by you or someone else?
No.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in not letting someone practice their religion?
No.
Have you ever ordered, incited, called for, committed, assisted, helped with, or otherwise participated in causing harm or suffering to any person because of their race, religion, national origin, membership in a particular social group, or political opinion?
No.
Can you explain the meaning of national origin?
Where a person is from.
Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any military or police unit?
No.
Can you explain what a military unit is?
A group works for government.
What is the meaning of police unit?
A group protects community.
Have you ever served in, been a member of, assisted, or participated in any armed group? For example, paramilitary unit, self-defense unit, vigilante unit, rebel group, or guerrilla group?
No.
Can you explain what a rebel group is?
A group fights a government.
What is the meaning of self-defense unit?
A group protects a place.
Can you explain what paramilitary unit refers to?
Like a military group, but is not official.
How would you define a vigilante unit?
A group acts like the police, but are not the police.
What is the definition of a guerrilla group?
A group uses weapons to attack the government.
Have you ever worked, volunteered, or otherwise served in a place where people were detained? For example, a prison, jail, prison camp, detention facility, or labor camp? Or have you ever directed or participated in any other activity that involved detaining people?
No.
What is the meaning of jail?
A place where prisoners are kept.
Can you explain what a detention facility means?
A place where people are forced to stay.
Can you explain what detained refers to?
Held in custody by police.
What does the term prison mean?
A place where prisoners are kept.
How would you define prison camp?
A place to keep enemy soldiers.
Can you explain what labor camp refers to?
A place to force people to work.
Were you ever a part of any group, or did you ever help any group, unit, or organization that used a weapon against any person or threatened to do so?
No.
Can you explain what a weapon is?
Like a knife or gun.
Can you explain the meaning of threaten?
To warn to hurt someone.
When you were part of this group, or when you helped this group, did you ever threaten another person that you would use a weapon against that person?
No.
When you were part of this group, or when you helped this group, did you ever use a weapon against another person?
No.
Have you ever sold, provided, or transported weapons, or assisted any person in selling, providing, or transporting weapons which you knew or believed would be used against another person?
No.
Have you ever received any weapons training, paramilitary training, or other military type training?
No.
How would you define weapons training?
To learn how to use a gun.
How would you define paramilitary training?
Learning how to fight in combat.
Can you explain what military-type training is?
Learning how to fight in combat.
Have you ever recruited, enlisted, conscripted, or used any person under 15 years of age to serve in or help an armed group, or attempted or worked with others to do so?
No.
What does conscript mean?
To require someone to join the army.
Can you explain what recruit refers to?
To ask.
What is enlist?
To sign up in the armed forces.
Have you ever used any person under 15 years of age to take part in hostilities, or attempted or worked with others to do so?
No.
How would you define hostilities?
Fighting in a war.
Have you ever committed, agreed to commit, asked someone else to commit, helped commit, or tried to commit a crime or offense for which you were not arrested?
No.
Can you explain what commit a crime is?
To do something that breaks the law.
Can you explain what arrested refers to?
Handcuffed by the police.
Can you explain the meaning of offense?
A minor crime.
How would you define crime?
An action that breaks the law.
Have you ever been arrested, cited, detained, or confined by any law enforcement officer, military official in the U.S. or elsewhere, or immigration official for any reason, or been charged with a crime or offense?
No.
Can you explain what charge means?
Police tell you that you did something illegal.
Can you explain what cited means?
Given a ticket by police.
Can you explain what confined refers to?
To be kept in a place.
If you received a suspended sentence, were placed on probation, or were paroled, have you completed your suspended sentence, probation, or parole? What is suspended sentence?
Delaying of a sentence.
What is the meaning of probation?
You report to an officer regularly instead of jail time.
Can you explain what parole means?
The early release of a prisoner.
Have you ever manufactured, cultivated, produced, distributed, dispensed, sold, or smuggled any controlled substances, illegal drugs, narcotics, or drug paraphernalia in violation of any law or regulation of a U.S. state, the United States, or a foreign country?
No.
What does it mean to manufacture?
To make something.
How would you define dispense?
To supply something.
What does produce mean?
To make something.
How would you define controlled substances?
You can buy it with a prescription, but with restrictions.
What does cultivate mean?
To grow plants.
What does drug paraphernalia mean?
Equipment to make illegal drugs.
Do you know how to define smuggle?
To take things to a country illegally.
Can you explain what distribute means?
To supply something.
What does illegal drugs or narcotics refer to?
Like heroin or cocaine.
Have you ever engaged in prostitution, attempted to procure or import prostitutes or persons for the purpose of prostitution, or received any proceeds or money from prostitution?
No.
Can you explain the meaning of procure?
To find someone for sex.
What is the meaning of prostitute?
Someone who has sex for money.
Have you ever been married to more than one person at the same time?
No.
Have you ever helped anyone to enter or try to enter the United States illegally?
No.
Have you ever married someone in order to obtain an immigration benefit?
No.
Can you explain what an immigration benefit is?
Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship.
Have you ever gambled illegally or received income from illegal gambling?
No.
How would you define gamble?
To play a game for money.
Have you ever failed to support your dependents or to pay alimony?
No.
What does dependent mean?
Someone who relies on another person.
How would you define pay alimony?
To pay money to an ex-spouse after a divorce.
Have you ever made any misrepresentation to obtain any public benefit in the United States?
No.
Can you explain what misrepresentation means?
To lie or give wrong information.
How would you define public benefit?
Welfare, like food stamps.
Have you ever given any U.S. government officials any information or documentation that was false, fraudulent, or misleading?
No.
Can you explain what misleading refers to?
Giving the wrong idea.
What does false mean?
Not true.
Can you explain what fraudulent refers to?
To claim something that is not true.
Have you ever lied to any U.S. government officials to gain entry or admission into the United States or to gain immigration benefits while in the United States?
No.
Can you explain what a lie is?
To say something that is not true.
What does admission into the United States mean?
The right to enter the United States.
Have you ever been removed or deported from the United States?
No.
What does deport mean?
To force a person to leave a country.
Have you ever been placed in removal, rescission, or deportation proceedings?
No.
How would you define rescission?
To take back a decision.
Can you explain what deportation proceedings refers to?
Process of removing a person.
Are you a person born as a male who lived in the United States at any time between your 18th and 26th birthdays?
No.
Did you register for selective service?
No.
What does selective service refer to?
Services in armed forces under law.
Have you ever applied for any kind of exemption from military service in the U.S. Armed Forces?
No.
How would you define the U.S. Armed Forces?
U.S. military, Navy, Air Force.
Have you ever left the United States to avoid being drafted in the U.S. Armed Forces?
No.
Can you explain what drafted refers to?
Being selected as a soldier.
Can you explain what avoid being drafted means?
To prevent being selected as a soldier.
Have you ever served in the U.S. Armed Forces?
No.
Do you now have or did you ever have a hereditary title or any order of nobility in any foreign country?
No.
What is hereditary title?
A royal title like prince or princess.
Can you explain what order of nobility is?
Like king or queen.
Do you understand the full oath of allegiance to the United States?
Yes.
What does oath of allegiance mean?
A promise to be loyal to the United States.
Do you support the Constitution and form of government of the United States?
Yes.
Can you explain what the Constitution is?
It is the supreme law of the land.
How would you define the form of government of the United States?
Republic.
Are you willing to take the full oath of allegiance to the United States?
Yes.
Are you unable to take the oath of allegiance because of a physical or developmental disability or mental impairment?
No.
If the law requires it, are you willing to perform non-combatant services in the U.S. Armed Forces?
Yes.
Can you explain what non-combatant services means?
Services that do not involve combat.
If the law requires it, are you willing to bear arms on behalf of the United States?
Yes.
How would you define bear arms?
To own or use a gun.
If the law requires it, are you willing to perform work of national importance under civilian direction?
Yes.
How would you define work of national importance?
Tasks that are important to a nation.
What does civilian mean?
A person who is not in the military.
Do you understand what civilian direction refers to?
A direction from a person who is not in the military.